University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Tonight it's the last of the quarter-final matches. 8 teams made it through to this stage of the competition, and 3 of them, Warwick University, Balliol College, Oxford, and Imperial College London, are through to the semi-finals. Whichever team wins tonight will complete the quartet who'll be competing for the 2 places in the series final. The losers, though, will become the 24th team to have left the competition. Now, the team from Magdalene College, Cambridge, swept away University College, Oxford in round 1 and Corpus Christi College, Oxford in round 2. Their first quarter-final was a comfortable win over Birkbeck College, London, but their second was a less comfortable defeat at the hands of the University of Warwick. With an average age of 31, let's meet the team again.
Hello, I'm James Byrne. I'm from Wollongong City in Hertfordshire and I'm studying maths.
Hi, I'm Adam Davies from Wichita, Kansas. I just graduated with a degree in history.
This is their captain.
Hello, I'm Daniel Lawson. I'm from the Wirral and I'm studying medicine.
Hello, I'm Kerry Payne. I'm from Little Wheaton in East Yorkshire and I'm studying theology for ministry.
Strathclyde University's route march to this match has seen them defeat Imperial College London and Manchester University before they lost to the University of Durham in their first quarter-final. They regained their form for their following match when they sent home Birkbeck College London with an average age of 29. Let's meet the Strathclyde team again.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I'm from Glasgow and I've graduated with a master's degree in applied statistics.
Hi, I'm David. I'm from Glasgow and I'm studying civil engineering.
This is their captain.
Hi, I'm James. I'm from Glasgow and I'm studying for a PhD in Power Systems Engineering.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm from Colindale in London, but currently residing in the Gorbals, and I'm studying for a PhD in Speech and Language Therapy.
Right, you all know the rules, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. I need the name of a person here. Short words meaning a continuous line of metal bars laid on the ground, a gaseous form of water, and the rate at which an object moves all appear in the title of an 1844 oil painting by which...
Magdalene Lawson.
JMW Turner.
JMW Turner is correct, yes. Rail, steam and speed. Right, your bonuses now are on the second millennium of the Common Era. All 3 answers are years that contain at least 3 consecutive numbers. For example, 1456 or 1239. Firstly, which year saw the completion of the official history of the Chinese Song dynasty? Work on this history had begun several decades earlier during the reign of Kublai Khan.
So that's...
1200?
Kublai Khan is in the 1300, or is he 1200?
I think it's 1200.
Late 1200s.
So 1, 2, 3, something.
So mine is probably 1, 3. So 1, 3, 4, 5.
1, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
1, 3, 4, 5. 1345.
Correct.
Oh no.
Which year saw the completion of Murillo's The Immaculate Conception and of Bernini's The Tomb of Pope Alexander VII?
17th century?
15
Yeah, so
or
1678.
1678.
1678. 1678. For Bernini, is that right?
Yes, because 156 would be too early.
Yeah, okay. 1678.
Correct. Which year saw the premiere of Olympe de Gouges' abolitionist plays Zamora and Mirza and the publication of William Blake's Songs of Innocence?
1890s.
So 18...
99.
18... No,
So 1789.
1789.
Oh, sorry.
1789?
1789. 1789.
Correct. 10 points for this. I need the name of the chemical element here. Which element has a 2-letter symbol that begins the names of the authors of the 1958 novel Borstal Boy, the 1861 Book of Household Management, and the 8th century ecclesiastical history of the English people?
Magdalene Lawson.
Beryllium.
Beryllium is correct. Well done. You get 3 bonuses on weird fiction. Quote, it excites an attitude of awed listening, as if for the beating of black wings, on the known universe's utmost rim, often cited as its leading exponent. Which US author offered this definition of weird fiction in an essay of 1927?
Could be Lovecraft.
Yeah, it could be Lovecraft, I think. Maybe. Lovecraft?
Correct. In the same essay, which British writer does Lovecraft praise as gifted with an almost diabolic power of calling horror by gentle steps from the midst of prosaic daily life? His collections include Ghost Stories of an Antiquary.
M.R. James.
Is that M.R. James? Yeah. M.R. James?
Correct. Born in 1972, which British author is often described as a writer of new weird fiction? His novels include The Last Days of New Paris and Perdido Street Station.
1972, is it quite...
Neil Gaiman.
quite it could be Gaiman, could it? Could it be Neil Gaiman? Don't know. Neil Gaiman?
No, it's China Mieville. Right, 10 points for this. I need the full title promptly here. Which play by Shakespeare begins with the report of a victory over the Scots at Homildon Hill and ends with the defeat of the rebel...
Maudlin Payne.
Macbeth.
No, you lose 5 points. Rebel army at Shrewsbury. The victor in the former battle, Hotspur, is killed at the latter by Prince Hal.
Strathclyde Whittle.
Henry IV, Part 2.
No, it's Henry IV, Part 1.
Okay.
Right, 10 points for this. The discovery by the US paleontologist John H. Ostrom of a specimen called Deinonychus in 1964 was instrumental in demonstrating an evolutionary link between dinosaurs and which class of animals?
Maudlin Byrne.
Birds.
Birds is correct, yes. These bonuses are on United States history. William Jennings Bryan was nominated as the Democratic Party candidate for the 1896 national election in place of which incumbent president?
1896.
So McKinley.
No, McKinley's.
It was 1902, and before McKinley was...
Is it Cleveland?
Could be Grover Cleveland, yeah.
Or is he Democratic?
Yeah, he's Democrat.
It could be him then.
Yeah.
Cleveland?
It was Grover Cleveland. Bryan's Cross of Gold speech at the 1896 party conference advocated which economic policy relating to the supply of money?
Bimetallism.
Bimetallism.
Yeah.
Bimetallism?
Correct. In 1925, the year of his death, Bryan assisted in the prosecution of which notorious case based on a supposed violation of Tennessee's Butler Act?
Scopes Monkey Trial?
That's correct. Right, it's time for a picture round now. Your picture starter is a map showing the main shipping routes that form the maritime section of the historic Silk Road trading network. For 10 points, give the current and official name of the major port city marked.
Maudlin Byrne.
Chennai.
Chennai is correct, yes. It used to be known as Madras, of course. We follow on from that with picture bonuses showing 3 more significant ports on the maritime Silk Road. 5 points for each you can name. First, the port city at A. It is now the country's busiest seaport.
Is that Jeddah?
Riyadh.
Riyadh's on in the middle.
Oh.
So Jeddah?
Is it Jeddah?
Jeddah.
Jeddah is the seaport for Mecca, isn't it? So that looks
Sounds
like
good. Sounds good.
Jeddah?
It is Jeddah, yes. Secondly, the city at B, which shares its name with the body of water on which it lies.
Malacca.
Malacca is
Malacca.
yes, isn't it? Malacca. Malacca?
Malacca is correct. And finally, the archipelago at C, currently a semi-autonomous region.
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar, I imagine, yeah.
Zanzibar.
Is that an archipelago? Right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Zanzibar?
Zanzibar is correct. Right, 10 points for this. What term in Christian theology links the most populous island of the Bahamas with the US state capital about 40 miles southwest of Boston? The term derives from a Latin word meaning...
Maudlin Davies.
Providence.
Providence is correct. I thought your putative vicar would have that. Right, Providence is correct there. So you get a set of bonuses on the solar system. The Maxwell-Montes range includes the highest point on which body of the solar system? The range is about 11 kilometres above mean radius.
Maxwell Montes. Well, I mean, it's
Could be Mars.
which body?
Yeah.
And it's mountains. So
Could be Mars.
Mars has mountains. I mean,
Mars?
No, it's Venus.
yeah.
At around 4 kilometres in height, Ahuna Mons is a suspected cryovolcano and the highest peak on which body of the solar system?
A cryovolcano. Could it be?
Could be a moon of Jupiter or something.
Could be Europa.
Europa.
Made of ice. Oh, no, it was Titan.
I don't know. Yes, it could be Titan actually. Yeah, Titan's a good one. Yeah.
Titan?
No, it's Ceres.
Oh, okay.
About 6 kilometres high, the central peak of Herschel crater is the tallest mountain on which inner moon of Saturn, whose appearance has been compared to that of the Death Star in the Star Wars films.
I think it's Enceladus because I think it's got a big hole in it.
Yeah. Enceladus?
No, it's Mimas.
Oh, okay.
Right, 10 points for this. Listen carefully. Imagine a standard chessboard empty of pieces, with the exception of a knight on square A1. What is the minimum number of moves required for the knight to reach the opposite corner, square H8?
Magdalene Byrne.
4.
No, anyone want to buzz from Strathclyde?
Strathclyde Welsh.
6.
It's 6. Well done. Your bonuses are on mathematical analysis. In each case, I need the surname of the mathematician or mathematicians after whom the following theorems are known. Firstly, for a continuous differentiable function that takes equal values at two distinct points, its derivative must equal 0 at some point between them.
Try Bolzano-Weierstrass.
Nominate Welsh.
Bolzano-Weierstrass.
No, it's Roll. Credited to two mathematicians working independently in the 19th century, the statement that every bounded sequence has a convergent subsequence.
I think that's Bolzano-Weierstrass.
Nominate Welsh.
Bolzano-Weierstrass.
That's correct. And finally, under certain conditions, for two functions that share a root, the limit of the ratio between them at the same point can be calculated as the limit of the ratio of their derivatives.
That's
Nominate Welsh.
L'Hôpital.
It is, yes. Well done. 2 cheers are quite enough. There is no occasion to give 3. These words of E.M. Forster refer to which general form of government? He explains that 1 cheer is because it admits variety, and 2 because it permits criticism.
Strathclyde Welsh.
Democracy.
Democracy is correct, yes. Right, you get a set of bonuses on Rudyard Kipling's poem, If. Kipling stated that If was drawn from the character of which physician and colonial administrator who, in 1895, made an abortive raid that attempted to overthrow the Transvaal government?
Rhodes.
Cecil Rhodes.
Yeah.
That was the Jameson raid, Dr. Leander Starr Jameson. In the second stanza of the poem, which personified qualities does Kipling describe as 2 impostors?
Triumph and
Oh,
disaster.
So is it?
Triumph and disaster. I mean, those
Okay,
two
yeah.
imposters
Okay,
is
okay,
the same.
okay.
Triumph and Disaster.
Correct.
Done.
The Triumph and Disaster couplet appears on the player's entrance of which major sporting venue in South London?
South London
think
might
that
be
may
the
be
Oval.
Wimbledon.
Might be the Oval.
I don't know.
Possibly that.
The Oval.
No, it's Wimbledon. It's the centre court.
Sorry.
Right, 10 points here. I need 2 surnames of scientists born in Salford and Belfast. What effect describes the temperature change of a non-ideal gas as it's forced isenthalpically through a porous plug or throttle? Depending on the initial temperature of the gas, the process causes either heating or cooling.
Magdalene Lawson.
Rayleigh Kelvin.
No?
Strathclyde Whittle.
Rayleigh Thompson.
No, it's the Joule Kelvin effect or expansion. Right, 10 points for this. What surname links all of these? The founder of the Chartist newspaper, The Northern Star, the author of the 1952 novel Wise Blood, and the first woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court.
Magdalene Payne.
Carter.
No, you lose 5 points. Strathclyde?
Strathclyde Whittle.
Wilson.
No, it's O'Connor. Right, 10 points for this. Discovered 10 years apart in 1980 and 1990, Pandora and Pan are minor moons of which planet of the solar system?
Strathclyde Whittle.
Saturn.
Saturn is correct. You get a set of bonuses on a sculpture. Which of his sculptures did Auguste Rodin refer to as a large sculpted knick-knack following the usual formula? The Tate's website, however, describes it as one of the great images of sexual love.
Or The Kiss. Didn't he do one called The Kiss?
I'm not sure.
The Kiss.
The Kiss is right, Le Baiser. In 2003, which British artist wrapped the kiss in a mile of string? She renamed it The Distance, a kiss with strings attached.
So British art. So
Try.
could it Tracy Emin or something like that? One of the actors.
It's not usually her kind. It could be Rachel
no.
Whiteread.
Okay, go for that. Yeah.
Rachel Whiteread.
No, it's Cornelia Parker. Rodin's sculpture depicts a pair of doomed lovers who appear in which 14th century narrative poem?
Could be Troilus and Cresside.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Troilus and Cresside.
No, it's the Divine Comedy. Right, we're going to take a music round. For your music start, you'll hear part of the final movement of a symphony. For 10 points, please name its composer.
Strathclyde Welsh.
Mahler.
It is Mahler hits his Symphony No. 2, Resurrection. So you heard the final movement there of Mahler's Resurrection Symphony, which includes a part for an offstage brass ensemble. Your music bonuses are 3 more major classical works that involve offstage brass. Name the composer of each, please. First, the composer of this tone poem.
Tone poem, I associate that with Vaughan Williams, but it
Does sound modern.
it sounds it does sound like quite sort of late 19th, like early 20th. It could maybe Holst or something like that as well.
That's right, Tom Jones. I don't know if it sounds like Holst.
Okay, just so say what you think.
Holst.
No, it's Richard Strauss.
Yeah.
Secondly, the composer of this suite, originally written to accompany a film.
That's. If it's written to accompany a film, could it be like maybe
Morricone.
No, it doesn't sound like.
It doesn't sound like-
I'd maybe say it could be John Williams or something. Do you think maybe? No.
It's too
It's quite. Maybe say John. I'd say John.
John Williams.
No, that's Prokofiev. And finally, a Requiem.
It's gone.
No. Is it maybe Fore or something? No.
Could,
I'm not sure. Could be Verdi.
Is it Verdi's? Is it Verdi's Requiem?
It's only one Verdi.
Verdi.
It is Verdi, yes, well done. The founder of the Freudian School of Paris, which psychoanalyst is associated with the theory of the mirror stage?
Magdalene Davies.
Lacan.
Lacan is correct. So your bonuses, Magdalene, this time are on pairs of words that differ only by the presence of the letter H after the first letter. For example, sack and shack, in each case, give both words from the definitions. Firstly, an abbreviated word used colloquially for an event regarded as inevitable, and a hard, fine-grained silica, such as jasper or flint.
With an H.
After the first letter.
Shoeing is sewing, I think.
Possible, I don't know.
Inevitable. Can you get the first one now?
Is shale? Shale?
Sail and
Shale
shale.
and shale? They're not really shale, are they?
Sail and shale.
No, it's cert and chert. Secondly, the common name of the family of mammals that includes the caracal and the ocelot and a small songbird of the thrush family.
Cat and a chat. I mean, an ocelot is a cat.
Yeah, cat and chat. Yeah, that works. Cat and chat.
Correct. Finally, a reflex action that may be a symptom of lung infection and a bird of the crow family that inhabits sea cliffs.
Cough and chuff.
Correct. 10 points for this. Which 2 vowels appear together at the start of 4 common 3-letter verbs that mean respectively to help, to sicken, to target?
Strathclyde Welsh.
I.
A and I is correct, yes. You get a set of bonuses, this time Strathclyde, on ski resorts. In each case, give the name from the description. Firstly, a resort in southeast Switzerland. It is named after a 3rd century commander of the Theban Legion who became the patron saint of the Swiss Guard.
St. Bernard.
I don't know. Yeah, probably, yeah.
St. Bernard's?
No, it's St. Moritz. Secondly, a resort in Colorado named after an ore of gold. It hosts the film festival at which Jim Jarmusch and Michael Moore showed their first films.
Yeah. Sundance.
Sorry?
It'd be Sundance, wouldn't it? No.
Aspen or?
no, it could be.
No, wait. Robert Redford, it's the Film Festival.
That's Sundance, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's in Colorado. It's not like randomly in Utah.
I don't know, man. Just.
Sundance?
That's Telluride.
Sorry.
And finally, an Italian resort in the Dolomites north of Belluno, which hosted the 1956 Winter Olympic Games.
Val di Fassa. I've been. That's where I've been, and I know they did Olympics there, but I don't know if they host.
So 56 Winter Olympics. I can't remember.
I don't know if it was the actual. Is it the resort or the?
I don't know. Just if you don't
Val di
think of it,
Fassa.
just.
Pass.
That's Cortina. 10 points for this. Coined in reference to a comment made by Machiavelli in his Discourses on Livy, What three-word term refers to members of the Nerva Antonine dynasty?
Strathclyde Welsh.
5 good emperors.
5 good emperors is correct, yes. Your bonuses this time are on Vincent van Gogh. Before he became an artist, Van Gogh embarked on what career, joining his uncle at a branch of his company in The Hague?
Was it maybe law, medicine or something like that? Maybe he tried to be a lawyer. I don't know, just jobs.
Try law. Yeah, maybe.
Law.
No, he was an art dealer. Van Gogh's 1888 series of paintings of sunflowers were produced after his move to which city on the River Rhone between Nîmes and Marseille?
Is that Arles? Arles? Was that Arles?
Arles.
Arles is correct. Van Gogh famously quarrelled with which French painter, chasing him with a razor before cutting off the lower part of his own left ear?
Is it Gauguin?
Try it. Yeah.
Gauguin.
It was Gauguin, yes. 10 points for this. The name of what physical quantity which is measured by an SI base unit can be spelled out using the symbols of other SI base units, the first of these being the unit of length?
Magdalene Lawson.
Mole.
No.
Strathclyde Welsh.
Mass.
Mass is correct. Yes, it's meter ampere second. Right, you get a set of bonuses, this time on tributaries. The Shenandoah joins which river at a confluence near Harper's Ferry in Virginia?
Delaware.
Virginia. So
Potomac. No, Potomac.
I don't really
Potomac.
know.
Delaware, maybe?
Could be the Delaware, maybe. Yeah. Maybe try that. Delaware.
Yeah, go with Delaware.
The Delaware.
No, it's the Potomac. The Balik and the Sadjo rivers join the Euphrates at different confluences in which country?
Iraq.
That must be right.
Iraq.
No, it's Syria. And finally, the Ubangui and the Kasai are both tributaries of which major river, the world's deepest?
Deepest river. Is that
Ganges or
But it,
the deepest river? Is it maybe one in Russia?
if it's the deepest, did you say Bangui for one of them?
Could that be Congo?
Isn't that a capital?
Congo.
Yeah, that's
the Congo.
The Congo is correct. Well done. It's time for a picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. For 10 points, name the artist.
Strathclyde Whittle.
Caravaggio.
No.
Magdalene Lawson.
Velasquez.
It is Velasquez, yeah.
Got him.
Kitchen scene with Christ in the house of Martha and Mary. So we follow on from that with picture bonuses at 3 more examples of fish in fine art. 5 points for each artist you can identify. Firstly, this Swiss artist.
Is Chagall.
Sorry?
Is Chagall?
Is it not Paul Klee?
Sure.
Chagall's not.
Yeah,
Swiss, is
probably.
it? Paul Klee?
It is Paul Klee, yes. Secondly, this Russian-born artist.
Ooh.
Could it be Kandinsky?
Sorry?
Could it be Kandinsky?
He doesn't look. Yeah, he could be, but.
Isn't he more like angular?
Yeah.
Maybe Russian born. That could definitely refer to someone who didn't live in Russia.
Yeah. Kandinsky.
No, it's Chaim Soutine.
Oh, wow.
And finally, this Italian artist.
Oh,
It's,
Archimboldo.
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 It is Archimboldo, yes, well done. 10 points for this. I need an abstract noun. Defined by Aquinas as a movement of the power ensuing from the apprehension of a future good, what, according to Hesiod, was all that remained in Pandora's jar?
Magdalene Lawson.
Chaos.
No, you lose 5 points.
Strathclyde Whittle.
Hope.
Hope is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses this time are on novels in other languages. In each case, identify the author from their works. All 3 authors have a 4-letter surname. Which authors' works include novels written in Spanish and published with the English titles Betrayed by Rita Hayworth and Kiss of the Spider Woman?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Lorca? No.
I don't know. Just Spanish.
Alba.
Try them.
Oh no, Alba. Was it Alba?
Just guess on.
Alba.
No, it's Manuel Puig. Secondly, the pen name of the author of Indiana and Lélia, published in French in the 1830s.
Georges Sand.
Sand.
Georges Sand.
Georges Sand.
Georges Sand is correct. Finally, the author of novels in German, published with the English titles Group Portrait with Lady and The Lost Honour of Katharina Blum.
Man.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Man.
No, it's Heinrich Boll.
Unlucky.
2 minutes to go, 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. For the complex number z equals brackets 1 plus I, what is the value of the fourth power of z?
Magdalene Byrne.
-4.
-4 is correct, yes. You get bonuses on countries that share a land border with only one other country. Which country gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1984 and shares a border only with the Malaysian state of Sarawak?
Singapore, surely.
Surely Singapore.
No. 84.
84.
Yes, but there's only one. Brunei.
Brunei.
Brunei. Yeah.
Brunei.
Brunei is correct. Which emirate shares its only land border of about 60 kilometres in length with Saudi Arabia?
Bahrain. Not Bahrain. Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar.
Qatar is correct. Which republic shares its only land border with Senegal, which surrounds it on 3 sides?
The Gambia.
The Gambia is correct. 10 points for this. Which country comes fourth in this South American list, ordered by most southerly latitude? Chile, Argentina, Uruguay and...
Magdalene Byrne.
Brazil.
Brazil is correct. You get a set of bonuses on a shared name. The 1958 novel Balthazar is the second volume of which British author's Alexandria Quartet?
Lawrence Durrell, isn't it? Lawrence Durrell.
It is Lawrence Durrell, yes. Which French director's films include Au Hasard Balthazar, released in 1966? It tells the story of a mistreated donkey in rural France.
Yeah, right.
Truffaut.
No, it's Robert Bresson. And finally, in which of Shakespeare's plays does Portia disguise herself as a lawyer named Balthazar in order to defend Antonio in court?
Porter and Shylock. Merchant of Venice.
Merchant of Venice is correct. 10 points for this. The world's largest species of spruce is named after which island, now known as Baranoff?
Magdalene Lawson.
Sitka.
Sitka is correct. You get a set of bonuses on a French author, born and at the gong. Strathclyde have 125, Magdalene College, Cambridge have 185 it. Well, bad luck, Strathclyde. I thought you were going to do it at one point. Magdalene, many congratulations to you. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in the semi-final now. I hope you can join us next time for the first of those semi-finals, but until then, it's goodbye from Strathclyde University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from Magdalene College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.